Warning: the Lobo Show contains adult content, crude humor that may go against your religion, ethics, and morals. A perspective point of view you may never find your own. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the debatable, the very hateable, the deplorable black eye of every piece of audio you ever listened to. Hopefully, welcome back to the Lobo Show. I am your host, Lobo, and with me as always, my producer, Heap Sack. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a full, fun-packed show for you ahead of, and we welcome all the new people, all the new listeners out there. And we truly appreciate everybody's support and admiration. Absolutely. But I just got to, once again, this is what we do here. This is what we do. We got to get things off our chest here. Got to let a lot of things rant. We have to rant off the head, top of the head. The weekly topical podcast that is the debacle of the Lobo Show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say one thing, right? I feel like people, it's a beautiful thing to love what you do. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, God, I would assume that everybody that works for a living, hopefully they're loving what they're doing. That's why they're working for a living. It gives them the right to get out of bed and gives them that need. Sometimes providing, it's a beautiful thing, right? You buy your kids your first pair of sneakers or whatever the fuck, right? It's like, oh, that's a beautiful thing, But I gotta say, man, sometimes when things are not so lucrative, sometimes like these small YouTube communities, I think that sometimes you need just to kind of take back and just sometimes take a chill pill. I love everybody. I love their content. And I got to say this, hardcore, maybe they go, oh, Lobos, yeah, does he? I got to understand, just a lot on my plate. I'm a very busy guy. And I hate using that word because there's a lot of YouTubers who use that word as like, hey, I'm busy and shit. This is why I can't check out the people who digs my shit. Like, who the fuck are you, Kanye West? What are you, some fucking millionaire? It's one thing if you got like a fucking million. You ever see? Feel like there's two kind of YouTubers out there. There's like the YouTubers that from the beginning literally never answered any comment ever. They'll leave their fucking main comment as their pinned tweet, like, hey, what do you guys think? Blah, 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 but they never do. And usually those are the big time guys. And I'm not saying, and I know there's a thing goes like, hey, big time and small time. I'll get into that, right? But it's usually the big time guys that do that. But then there's the smaller YouTube channels who are trying to, become big and trying to get a lot of people to listen to this stuff. So they engage with the audience. I know I do. I don't mind doing that at all, and the thing is though, when it comes down to that, it's like I kind of like look the other way. I kind of like have to be a little vocal about the smaller YouTube channels who kind of started out doing that. Like, hey, yeah, no doubt, man. No, like there's no problem. I would support your shit. And don't get it twisted, dude. I'm not being subliminal to any of these guys who feel like they got a gripe, because I always said this before and I'll say it again. We lose a hardcore sub every fucking week. You know why? Because they don't like this shit that we fucking say. But I'm never going to name anybody, no names. And I practice, I really don't, you know what I mean? It's whatever, man. You have to understand, I kind of really don't take this shit to heart, because like I said before, me and Sack would be playing to the same 11 people if we have to, I love the support. I love the admiration stuff. But, this whole thing where it's like, it's a family and we should kind of stick together. If that's your thing, go for it. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say that, but it's like, I don't know. I never did well with family, to be honest. And, I can't be on that shit. I'm like, like on the, like, hey, let's all fucking
be one happy family. And then if I don't like a guy, I know for a fact the guy doesn't like me and shit. Like, I mean, should we still be shaking hands? That's something, this is something that you guys should think about when it comes down to this community thing. But like I'm trying to say though, I feel like calm down, like with all these people where they're like, and I'm not talking about, I promise you do. I'm not talking about anybody specifically. I'm not firing shots. I know people think Lobos all the time. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just got to keep it a fucking stack. And I'm just going to call it how I see it and shit. I spoke to a guy and shit earlier today. I'm not going to name his fucking name. He was like, yeah, I got to switch up my content and shit because people is not feeling this and people's not feeling that. I feel like I'm not getting, they're not putting me over and shit. Or I saw somebody else who was losing their shit. They was losing their fucking minds because they thought they were losing views. It's like, calm down. It's like, relax. If you got your fucking core community that you care about, then that's what you should care about that's all you should care about for now. Don't care about the masses, And like I said, that when it comes down to this whole thing where sometimes people could be so egotistical in this community, where it's like, when they get a thumbs down and shit. I know, hell, let me tell you something. Before I used to do my Lobo show, in terms of like the old shows that we used to do, forget about it, bro. We averaged, I'm not gonna lie, 100 likes, and we appreciate that it was a bigger show. But it was like we got like around 16 to 20 dislikes. Not everybody's gonna like what you have to say, but I think that anybody who's doing YouTube content, right, and you're putting yourself out there, now hear me out. If you're putting yourself out there, I feel like, you have to like not get pissed off when you get a dislike or call them haters. If somebody goes, oh, I got 3 dislikes on my video. Oh, I look like we got a bunch of haters out there and we got a bunch of troll accounts. No, what? Maybe that fucking video sucked. Or maybe somebody, the more fucking subs you're gonna get, not everybody's gonna like your shit. Believe it or not, there are people who are gonna sub to your shit just because they hate you or dislike you, or maybe they do like you and just like, I don't like that video, or he was wrong about that, or she was wrong about that. I'm gonna put a dislike. I don't like it. You don't know what the fuck their reason for it is. But the last thing you should do as a YouTube person, as a person who's creating content. It's just like being an artist. You can't fucking. I know it sucks when somebody say, "Hey, maybe that what you did wasn't so good. I'm gonna leave a thumbs like." It sucks, sure. But it's constructive criticism. Is how you're gonna take it. If you're gonna fucking flip out and make videos about, oh, you know what? There's some trolls out there. Like, what are you talking about? You got 3 dislikes. What fucking trolls are you talking about? Seriously, like explain that to me and shit. I don't fucking get it. I really don't. But listen. Everybody, it's all good, man. But I just want to say one thing. Like, I like the fact that the whole supporting thing, don't get me wrong and all of that shit. But listen, man, when I'm starting to see, it's like, hey, I told everybody before, it's like if I come out and just check your videos and shit, like on the weekends or whatever the fuck, or like I'm telling you, it's because I don't have the time. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, there are people who come out with videos who are very short videos, and I have the time to check out. I'm like, oh yeah, what's up, man? I'll leave a comment. And to be honest, there's other like fucking people that sub to your channels. You know what I'm talking about, man. And it's like they probably don't even listen to it. They just sub. But I check their shit out. But to me, I feel like I would check out the content of the people I like more. I take my time out of that. So when I go to the weekends and I watch like fucking my boy Starks, I watch my boy fucking My Cherry Hurts and shit. I watch Pie Sand Cakes. I watch Savage, High Velocity Savage and shit. I watch them on the weekends. I'm gonna take my time. I watch Julia and shit from fucking Jamaica. I watch these videos, but like I hope that you guys, I get the whole community things and the live streams and all of that shit, but to be honest, that's never been me. I like the fact that everybody's mad cool and shit, but I feel like there's a price to pay when it comes down to these fucking things. I feel like it's like, oh, now you have to be this community guy, and if you're not, it's a fucking problem, and it's all this kind of shit, and there's all these different kind of people. I get it, you know what I mean? And if I'm alienating a lot of people, that's what I do, man. I think that's what I do best. I don't do that purposely, but I speak my mind purposely. Now, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to veer off over a different subject here right quick. And I'd like to talk about something that I feel that is very important. Now, everybody right now is talking about, if you're looking all over the news, August 31st, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody, if you look in the news, everybody's talking about the big death, like the deaths and then the funerals right now, what's going on with Aretha Franklin. Rest in peace. It's a beautiful funeral that's going on. A lot of people are paying tribute. Although from what I'm seeing, I don't like Bill Clinton and I don't like Ariana Grande. I see that they're there. I don't know what they know too much about Aretha, but whatever the fuck, right? But there's a person here in this country, in America, who's also passed away. Then I feel that it's very important. Something that to me personally, this is a personal thing that I feel like I want to touch up on. And I want to say another thing right quick. One thing I want to say that people who listen to the Lobo show, and they'll probably listen to like the first 5-7 minutes of it. And I know I go off like these rants and shit in the beginning, but I promise you this. And I think that any true person who listens to this show, the first off is kind of like, whatever, man. I feel like the show gets better, like way later. It's more of you hearing it, the more you're truly getting some really, really good radio. In my opinion, it's my fucking product. Of course, it's our product, me and Sax here. So of course we're gonna fucking defend it all day, every day. So it's like, I get it. Maybe because it's so funny that people will like leave these comments, which is okay, but they just always talking about the first part. Like that's the whole thing. I don't want this whole show here tonight to be about the YouTube rant I did in the beginning. I really don't, because it's so much fucking deeper shit that we need to talk about. I really feel like this is gonna be an important show. Personally. And if you guys fucking think I'm full of shit, then fucking say I'm full of shit. Whatever the fuck. But I'm going to say this, man, one time. I want to talk about a person I truly, completely respect. And that's Senator John McCain. And John McCain, most people don't know, recently passed away. And I just like to touch up on who John McCain was, if you don't mind. John McCain was born August 29th, 1936, at a naval base in the Panama Canal Zone. His father and grandfather, both named John, and both in service. So there was no doubt about it. He was going to be a wartime commander. McCain's fate laid before him. He would attend the Naval Academy in Annapolis, laying the footsteps of his father and his grandfather. He would graduate in 1958, head into flight school, and would later volunteer to drop bomb on targets in North Vietnam. Now, when asked, why he volunteered, this is what he said, I quote, "That's where the sound of the guns were, and we wanted to ride to it. It is what we trained for and what our mission is." At 31 years old, aboard the aircraft carrier Arinsky, flying the A-4 Skyhawk, an enemy missile takes a wing off his bomber. He ejects, breaking both his arms and one leg. McCain would land in a lake, his bomber washing ashore. McCain would land in the lake in the city of Hanoi. The Vietnamese would pull him out of the water and capture him. They would stab him, beat him, and then take him to a prison camp. Lieutenant Commander John McCain. The Vietnamese would have an offer. He could go home. They hope it'd be a PR coup for them, given how revered his family was. But McCain would refuse. He told them he didn't want to break the U.S. military code for conduct for POWs. The first man captured is the last man out. McCain would spend 4 years in confinement. In 1973, 591 POWs were released, and John McCain was one of them. Reunited with his family, he would later decide to serve his country in a different way. Elected to the House in 1982 and to the Senate 4 years later, he would infamously run for president, campaigning against a young senator from Chicago, Barack Obama. McCain would later do the unthinkable and defend his opponent. And it was a year ago he was diagnosed with brain cancer, returning to the Senate floor days after brain surgery, walking into a standing ovation, giving the fucking middle finger to Trump when he gave the thumbs down to the repeal Obamacare without replacement. John McCain, 1936 to 2018. Some guy I fucking respect. The guy, I know I'm a Trump guy. I can say that shit, but this is a guy who had fucking dignity. When he had admiration for his opponent, there was one time when he was campaigning against Barack Obama, and they were doing like this debate and shit, right? And there was this lady who's like, "I'm not gonna go fucking vote for Obama. He's an Arab and shit, and blah blah blah." And McCain, here's something like you don't see this in politics ever. McCain goes like, "Yo, wait a minute, hold up. listen, Barack Obama is a decent man. He's a family man and shit with good values and shit, and he's an American citizen. But it just so happens that me and him, we don't agree on the same policies. We don't agree on the same politics. But the guy's not a fucking Arab and shit. You know what I mean? It was things like that, man. Like this guy McCain, although he lost that election, though, he still had respect from a lot of fucking people, even to Obama. You know what I mean? Who was like, yo, I got to give credit. That was classy as fuck, as opposed to other elections that happened in the past. So I don't want to bore you people to death and shit. I know you guys rather hear the hoopla and the fucking loud yelling and me, quote unquote, calling people out. But I just want to end this one time with a quote for Senator McCain. And McCain said, "Before I leave, I'd like to see our politics begin to return to the purposes and practices that distinguish our history from the history of other nations. I like to see us recover our senses that we are more alike than different." Something you should think about, man, ladies and gentlemen. A true patriot, a true hero.
Rest in peace, John McCain.
Absolutely, man.
What
And
a
like I
life.
said, what a great life.
A lot
The
of
guy,
ups, a lot of downs.
a lot of ups and downs. And when he campaigned and shit, believe it or not, he was the first person ever in U.S. history for his running mate to be a woman, which was Sarah Palin. And nobody have ever heard of that before. So that was probably his biggest mistake. Not because she was a woman. Anybody who knows Sarah Palin, she was dumb as a bag of rocks. She was sharp as a marble. You know what I mean?
Governor of Alaska.
Yeah, she was, and I'm not saying that anybody from Alaska is stupid, but she was not privy to the politics, especially as deep as McCain has been over the years. And most people said that she lost the election because she.
I mean, like, it's funny, not to cut you off, but do you remember that famous picture, that video where she's shooting the antelope? Because she wants to prove that she hunts because she lives.
Oh, what she did. Don't get me wrong. She was very outdoorsy. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny because Joe Rogan was talking about it and he was just ripping her a new one. He was like, look at her. She's standing up. She's not even, mounting her weapon. She's not prone. She's not doing this. It took her 5 times to kill it. Right. And it's like, she's a woman, it's just funny. People forgot about Sarah Palin. Shout out to Sarah Palin.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's a fucking idiot, to be honest, Sarah Palin. And but the thing is, I'm not gonna take away about, like, she probably can shoot better than Rogan. Rogan's a liberal from fucking California. The fuck is he talking about? What does he know about shooting?
He says that he does the bow and arrow every day.
Exactly, the bow and arrow. Listen, bro, like I said, I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me, but I think that bow and arrow shit is kind of fucking,
a little dated, right?
Yeah, or not necessarily dated, a little fucking liberal, if you ask me, pal. Just my opinion, whatever the fuck. But I'll tell you what's not opinion, and it was actual factoid, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we've all been waiting for here. I know people was like, oh, finally. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the time you may want to put the kids to bed, strap on the seatbelt, possibly put a life jacket on. It might get messy in here. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, the nightly news with the heap sack.
WINS, WINS HD, WWFS HD3, New York. All news, all the time. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is August 31st, 2018, 74 degrees in New York City, and this is the Nightly News with the Sack. There's a ton of speculation that Mueller could drop something big as soon as today by Business Insider. There's mounting speculation that the special counsel Robert Mueller will come out with something substantial in the Russia investigation as soon as today. John Dowd, President Donald Trump's former defense attorney, who's in frequent touch with the president's legal team, said today that Mueller does not have the authorization to release a report because the information in it would be protected by executive privilege. Rudy Giuliani, Trump's lead defense lawyer, has for some time called for Mueller to release a final report by September 1st. And he said that speculation that Mueller could make a big release on Friday makes sense. Mueller is investigating Russia's interference in the 2016 U.S. election and whether members of President Donald Trump's campaign colluded with Moscow to tilt the race in his favor. The MSNBC host Chuck Todd first raised the possibility of significant developments in the Russia investigation when he suggested during Thursday's edition of Meet the Press Daily that there could be a major release from Mueller on Friday. I'll be honest with you. I'm not missing work tomorrow, Todd said. I won't miss work tomorrow. The anchor added that people who worked with Mueller on the investigation would have ended it if they found no evidence of collusion.
Well, that's a great story, Zach. And I know people are like, "Oh shit, we're probably like, are we covering this every fucking week?" I just have to say one thing about this whole story, and that is,
you make a very good point, Lobo. But there's just one thing I have to add.
oh, really, what's that?
Well, do you have any other thoughts, Lobo?
Well, man, I'm not gonna lie, dude. That was actually a really, really fucking good point. But I'd just like to add, when it comes down to Mueller, I have to say this off my chest.
Wow. I never really looked at it that way. But yeah, I mean, from that perspective, yeah. If you're going to go there, then I have to add just one more thing.
Okay, faggot, what's next?
Well, man, it's like fuck. It seems like the repetitive shit, and it seems like it's not going anywhere, man. When it comes down to it, and sometimes I feel like
it's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
You feel that same way? Wow.
I really do. I really do.
Well, me too. I just had to add that final point.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like a lot of those guys, man, are they're just,
Yes, they are. And they're also...
You're out! Don't you do it! Don't you! I got nowhere else to go! I got nowhere else to go!
That's very profound, man. Wow, I don't think we have a deeper conversation than the one we're having right now. It's just like, man, you made a lot of fucking good points, Zach, bro. I don't know what to say to that, to be honest. I don't know how to answer you, but
You son of a bitch.
Lobo, it's been a very long time that me and you have gone this deep in any conversation. So I'm just going to end it with this, and I'm done.
Where did you learn your trade, you stupid fucking cunt, you idiot? Whoever told you that you could work with men?
well, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think that we can agree here in this whole fucking thing. And I think that's all that needed to be said when it comes down to that story. Let's move on, Zach.
In other news, Detroit schools turn off drinking water, citing elevated lead and copper by the New York Times. When public school students in Detroit return to their classrooms next week for the first day of the school year, the water fountains will be dry. Since 2016, water testing in the district has found elevated levels of lead and copper in dozens of schools. And while it is unclear how many of the district's 106 schools currently have water quality issues, the drinking water will be turned off in all of them. Superintendent Nikolai Vetti said on Wednesday, the latest round of water quality tests was conducted this year, and the results for 24 schools came in last week. Of those, 16 had at least one water source with elevated levels of lead, copper, or both. That, coupled with testing results from 2016, brought the total number of schools with known water issues to 34. It could take one more month for all of the schools' test results to come back, Dr. Vetti said. He decided not to wait. Now that we're seeing these higher levels of lead and copper, there's no need to roll the dice, he said, on the decision to shut off the drinking water in all of the district's public schools. He added that he had seen no indication that any students had suffered health problems because of the water. The district had already shut off drinking water at certain schools because of concerns about lead and copper levels, but Dr. Vetti said he could not recall that decision ever being made across the entire district. He said that the students would still be able to wash their hands and flush the toilets, but that drinking water would come from water bottles and water coolers rather than fountains or sinks. In a joint statement, the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department and the Great Lakes Water Authority, which serves customers in several counties, including Detroit's, said city residents were not affected by the school's water quality issues. It said that aging school infrastructure, such as old plumbing, could be the source of the problem. The Detroit School District had struggled with deteriorating infrastructure for years. State-appointed emergency managers ran the district from 2009 until 2016, when it was split into two, so Detroit Public Schools Community District, of which Dr. Vetti is now in charge, could shed millions of dollars in debt. But the deal imposed new restrictions on the district's ability to borrow money, and Dr. Vetti pointed to an assessment this year that found it could cost about $500 million to bring the school's crumbling buildings up to standard. Students and teachers have complained about poor conditions in Detroit's public schools, including moldy walls, crumbling roofs, and a lack of adequate heat or air conditioning. Critics of the state government have compared the district's water quality issues to the situation in Flint, Michigan, where state-appointed emergency managers presided over a crisis that left residents with a dangerous level of lead in their tap water starting in 2014. Dr. Vetti said he was unsure how long the drinking water in Detroit public schools might be shut off. He said he was working with the governor's office and the mayor's office to put together a task force to determine whether old pipes, poor filter systems, or other issues might be affecting the water quality in the schools.
It's fucking horrendous. Fucking horrendous, man. I said this once and I said this before, bros. I know it's like, yeah, it's this fucking, it seems like this is the biggest problem in the fucking country and nobody's doing anything about it for fucking years, man. And it's not me pointing the finger at Barack Obama thing in terms of the liberals and shit this time around, because during his time, he still didn't do dick about it. And when Trump right now, Michigan voted for the guy. Michigan got Trump elected in terms of one of the big states, the big swing states that they needed. So he was elected by these people and he still has done nothing about this fucking water crisis and is driving me fucking nuts. I'm telling you right now, this is the biggest black eye in America. Listen, man, I know there's a lot of homeless problems and shit, right? I get that. But you have to admit, let's be real here. A lot of these homeless people have mental problems and issues and shit. But we can't fucking take care of the water and shit. Like, there's a possibility that you could drink water out of a faucet and fucking get sick out of it, possibly die. This is America? Like, that shit, it's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. You know, there's going to be people that listen to this from different countries and shit and go, oh, that's pretty fucking fucked up, mate. It is fucked up. It is. And I don't see anybody doing anything fucking about it. And let me tell you this, though. When it comes down to the Michigan thing, and I mean, over there in Detroit, whatever the fuck, let me tell you, the water cooler things is probably the best fucking idea for every fucking school, to be honest. Every fucking school, because I don't trust fountain water. Now, here's the thing. People go, oh, you shouldn't trust the bottled water. You don't know, man. Yeah. You know what? I get it. A lot of these, they're not probably from the Cold Spring Mountains like they're advertised and shit, but they're probably like some type of, they're boiled and they're filtered in some sense, right? I'm going to be completely honest with you, G. Maybe this is a New York thing, because I know a lot of people don't live the way we live over here, Sac. A lot of, everybody's from different places, which is a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. But I haven't drunk water from a faucet like in over 10 years. In at least every water I get is smart water, bottled water. Don't get it twisted. It's mostly booze. You know what I mean? Booze and bros. Don't get me wrong. But you know what I'm talking about. If I'm drinking water, bro, it's a bottled water. I'm buying these cases of water and shit. And you know, back in the days, it's fucking hilarious. People's like, you're paying for water? You're the biggest fucking rube. Like, I know. But times change. And I'll tell you this, that you got to buy the fucking water now, because if you don't, if you're making iced tea out of the fucking sink and you didn't fucking boil that water and shit, chances are you're fucking drinking a lot of fucking toilet bullshit, if you know what I mean. Fuck the water system. And I'm telling you this right now, that's fucking, I don't understand. There's like, listen, man, I'm a military guy in terms of I respect the military. And sure, fund the fuck out of the military, because you never know when we're gonna need it. It's better to, have it than, and not use it, not need it, to not have it. And when it comes down to it, you got your hand in your balls with nothing. But I'm trying to tell you, bro, when it comes down to this fucking water crisis, they put all this billions of dollars into this fucking military. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a pussy. But, I mean, what the fuck? Why is nobody doing anything about this shit? Now, I know Puerto Rico goes out there like, oh, Puerto Rico, look at us. What happened? America, they blame Trump. And it's part of United States, but it's not a 51st states, 50 states here, man. And we told you guys you should be part of the states. They refused. They voted against it. And I'm not saying that, we should turn a blind eye. Like I said, do not get me wrong. But I'm just saying, bro, like, what the fuck, man? This is Michigan. This is Detroit. You can't fix the fucking water over there? Like, what's going on, bro? I don't know. I'm just saying it's embarrassing. And I think that somebody, literally, man, like, it's like, ugh. You probably might hear something about it, like during the midterms and shit now for the elections. Maybe Trump gets fucking trying to get reelected. He wants the Michigan votes back. He promised he's going to probably clean the fucking water. I mean, you spent some time in there in Michigan, I think, briefly, Zach. Yeah. So, I mean, what's your thing? No, I mean, come on.
It's very interesting. You bring it up. This is not getting any coverage. And
it really isn't. It really is.
I don't know.
It really isn't.
People got to think, right? Michigan, it's one of the biggest places for like fresh water. They got those lakes over there. And believe it or not, I know people are going to roll their eyes and be like, no, that's not how it's done. But a lot of these bottled waters, they will go out to these lakes and get these fresh waters. And like you said, filter them, etc. Just put them in water and then they sell them. And people don't get it. They think like, yeah, it's coming from some exotic mountain, or no. Michigan has some of the most fresh water in the world, not just America, but in the world. So that, like, the Detroit is having water problems, that's just odd, because I don't know, that should not be going on if they have all this fresh water.
It really is fucking mind-boggling, man. When it comes down to it, it's true. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That is, you know what? I truly I didn't realize that. Like when you just said it, man. Like, Michigan's look, and it's true. They have one fucking great fucking landscape. You know what I mean? All that fucking, it's Michigan, man. But like I said, that's a great point though, Sack. And that's so fucked up, man. I really don't get it, man. It's like, and I get it. It's like, to me, I feel like if in Detroit, in a way, they should be giving out bottled waters for free, to be honest. And I'm saying, and any conspiracy theorists go, shut up, moron. I don't hear about people going sick off the bottled waters. Maybe they're turning the freaking frog gaze. I don't know, but we don't go there with that over here at the Lobo Show. Let's move on, Sack.
In other news, shooting at Jacksonville, Florida, gaming tournament leaves 3 dead, including gunmen, by CBS News. 2 people were killed and 11 others injured when a gunman opened fire Sunday at a popular waterfront mall in Jacksonville, Florida, where a video game tournament was being held. Graphic recordings from the scene captured gunshots ringing out and the screams of terrified patrons taking cover. David Katz, 24 years old, of Baltimore, Maryland, is believed to be the gunman. Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams said Katz used a single handgun to carry out the shooting and died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Williams described Katz as a white male who was attending the gaming event. He did not know if Katz knew the victims. 9 others were wounded by gunfire and 2 others were injured as they fled the shootings, Williams said. They are all in stable condition. The tournament for Madden NFL 19, players were being held at the GLHF Game Bar, which shares space with the restaurant. The bar told CBS News in a Facebook message that all staff members and the owner were able to escape untouched. Gunshots can be heard in recordings from the tournament on the bar's Twitch account, which was streaming the competition. Williams said investigators were reviewing the footage as evidence and encouraged the public to turn in any additional videos that could help with the investigation. Williams said that the FBI is assisting with the investigation in Baltimore. Investigators believe Katz may have stayed in a hotel during the event. Williams said authorities have impounded Katz's vehicle and plan to search it for evidence. Late Sunday night, the FBI said heavily armed agents had entered the family home of the suspect. Dave Fitz told the Associated Press that agents went to the upscale townhouse home of the man's father in Baltimore, but didn't release any further information, citing the ongoing investigation. The AP reports that agents could be seen inside the home near Baltimore's Inner Harbor wearing bulletproof vests and carrying long guns. Reporters at the scene did not see any authorities carrying any bags of evidence outside. There were 150 people involved in the two-day event, including players and spectators. Players were competing for a chance to play in a final round in Las Vegas. This is your chance to earn your spot in the first majors live finals happening in October 2018. The Facebook page for the event reads, "Don't hesitate to secure your spot." Florida Governor Rick Scott, who was traveling to Jacksonville, tweeted that he offered state resources to the local law enforcement. His office said that Florida Department of Law Enforcement and Florida Highway Patrol were assisting in the investigation. EA Sports said it was aware of the shooting and is working with authorities to gather information. This is a horrible situation, and our deepest sympathies go out to all involved, the company said. Our focus right now is on those affected and supporting law enforcement as they continue their investigation into this crime. EA Sports listed Katz as their 2017 championship winner. And there was a witness, a cook, Brahim. Yep. Brahim Johnson. He worked at the pizzeria that was connected to the bar. He caught a glimpse.
Pizzeria, man.
Yeah, he caught a glimpse of the shooter as he fired into the crowd. And this is what he said. "I just heard shots. I looked at the window and I see him. Dude came in there basically like to kill. He was just in his rampage mode." That's what he said.
Yeah, he probably was like, shit, I'm about to pull out my motherfucking gat out, motherfucker. Fuck, I saw a motherfucking crazy kid over there shooting. Fuck this guy. Well, I'm sorry, Zach. Go on.
No. It's crazy because he barricaded himself and some of the customers in the restaurant and grabbed a pair of kitchen knives. He told the guy, if you come into this kitchen, you're bound to get stabbed.
Yeah, I wish he told me that to me, bro. Fuck out of here. Fuck this guy. Let me tell you, this self-inflicted cunt. You see this guys with the self-inflicted? Oh, I want to do some damage and I want to save one bullet. I'm going to save one bullet so I can shoot myself and so I don't have to do time. What a little Mary. What a little priss. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something, dude. Watch out for these gamers, man. Not for nothing. Listen, hey, listen. Don't get me wrong. I love the fucking gamer guys. My cherry hurts. Come on, Pauls. That's my boy. You know what I mean? I love the guys that make the gamer videos, but a lot of these gamers are a little fucking shot. They're a little crazy. They got a fucking neck beard and shit. Fucking big fucking neck beard. They wear the t-shirt and shit that's like for 3 days in a row. A lot of these guys don't take showers. You know what I'm talking about? These guys look like they fucking stink up the joint, to be honest. I think that they should kind of watch out for them. They're fucking crazy. They're basement trolls, to be honest. You know? And not for nothing. The kid said he's from an upscale town. Fucking rich kid. It's always those fucking guys, you know? The rich kid, upscale guy. It's like so he's got like something going on for him or something, right? It's so funny that in New York, right? You know, I've always, like I said, try to go out there, try to get a gun and shit, you know. But it's so funny. The reason I don't own one right now is because every time I go into a fucking place here in New York, and I'm pretty sure it's not like this in the South at all. But every time I try to go like, hey, man, I'm like, you know, thinking about owning a gun. And they're like, for what? For what? Right? They drill you down here in New York and shit. They got to ask you a million questions, which to me, as a law-abiding citizen, an American, I feel like that's right. I'm like, sure, shoot. Ask me every fucking question in the world, you know, and do all the background checks you need, you know. But then it's like they always go like, you know, like, what do you need the gun for? I was like, well, listen, man, I don't fucking hunt, you know, I don't fucking, you know, go and really on the gun range. I work a lot and shit, but I want a fucking gun and shit to to defend my house and shit, defend my home. You never know. You know, my apartment and shit here in New York. I don't have a home. I live in an apartment, right? So I'm like, I want to defend, you know, so I want to have it and shit, like just in case for my home. I don't want to walk around with it. And I was like looking at some guns, like I want a fucking 44. I always wanted a 44, like some Dirty Harry shit. And these guys go, oh, whoa, wait a minute. We don't blah, blah. We don't want to fucking, we can't sell you a 44. And they always talk you out of buying a handgun. It's always, oh, get a fucking shotgun or a rifle. They're like, because of this and that. I'm the man, fuck that shit. This is what I fucking hate in New York, because I'm pretty sure it's not like that over there in the South. I bet you go to fucking Atlanta and shit. You go to fucking Georgia, anywhere in fucking North Carolina. Listen, I want to go fucking buy a 44. They'll sell you a fucking 44 after the background check and everything, after everything checks out and shit. You know what I mean? Obviously. But what the fuck, man? So it's like, you know, every time I go in there, I qualify for the fucking gun, but they're selling me on a rifle and shit or a shotgun. I don't know if anybody gets that. And if you guys do, let me know. Let me know. But that's fucking horse shit, man, to be honest. And not for nothing, the shooter, right? I mean, obviously, hold on. Let's talk about the gaming shit, right? And I'm not want to shit on gamers and shit. Obviously, gamers are fucking part of our community here. The Lobo Show. Lots of gamers, lots of guys that, you know, play their games and they love their video games religiously, right? But it's funny that this guy here, you talk about this guy Katz, right? It's funny that this guy won the tournament. He must have been really good. Let's think about that. Yeah, let's think of it. Let's really indulge in this. The guy won the tournament and he came back, he lost, and he was so pissed off. Like, I mean, the guy wasn't like, I would hope, right, that this maniac wasn't like, hey, if I lose, I'm going to shoot the place up. Maybe he did. Maybe he was a fucking maniac. Maybe he was that low in his life where he had to fucking do that shit. He was like, you know what? I'm fucking, you know, I'm done with everything. I'm just going to go, you know, I'm going to fucking, if I know I'm going to lose, and I'm going to fucking shoot the place up. But, you know what I mean? This whole fucking, there's no rhyme and reason to these fucking asshole shooters. Obviously, it's fucked up that they're mentally fucked up and they need to seek help. You know, unfortunately, some people learn the hard way. But this whole self-inflicted gun wound shit, or, you know, killing yourself, is so pussy. Where's that guy who goes, yeah, which is wrong here. But where's the guy who's like, yeah, I did it and I'm going to own up to it. Even that Dylan Roof fucking loser, even he wasn't. I bet you he was like, okay, I'm not giving any props to him, right? But I bet you he was like, oh fuck, I should have killed myself. Or even that other moron from the Parkland thing. I know people think that's all bullshit. That's a different conversation here. But even to that, it's like, fuck them. Let them rot in prison and shit. That's what they fucking deserve. Sometimes that's why they kill themselves, because they know that's easier than doing time. It's unfortunate, man, what happened over there with the video games. Yeah, take it easy with the fucking video games, younger people. Let's move on, Sack.
And finally, 33 years ago today, the notorious Night Stalker was captured and nearly killed by a mob in East Los Angeles, California, after being recognized from a photo shown both on television and in newspapers. Recently identified as the serial killer, Richard Ramirez was pulled from the enraged mob by police officers. During the summer of 1985, the city of Los Angeles was panic-stricken by a killer who creeped into his victims' homes at night. The Night Stalker, as the press dubbed the murderer, first turned his attention on the men in the house, usually shot any men in the house with a .22 caliber handgun before raping, stabbing, and mutilating his female victims. He cut out one of his victims' eyes and sometimes carved satanic pentagrams on the bodies before he left. By August, the Night Stalker has murdered at least a dozen people, and law enforcement officials were desperate to stop him. One witness, who managed to note the license plate of the car in which Ramirez fled, led police to a single partial fingerprint left in the vehicle. Apparently, the task force looking for the Night Stalker had already received information that someone named Ramirez was involved, so only the records for the men with the name were used to check for the fingerprint. Although the Los Angeles Police Department's new multi-million-dollar computer database of fingerprints only contained with records of criminals born after January 1960, Richard Ramirez, who had a record of petty crimes, had been born in February of 1960. When Ramirez was identified as the chief suspect, authorities debated whether to release his name and picture to the public, fearing that it might give him the chance to escape. Nonetheless, they decided to take the risk, and Ramirez, who was actually traveling back to Los Angeles at the time, arrived to find his face and name on the front of every newspaper. Ramirez turned his trial into a circus by drawing pentagrams on his palms and making devil's horns with his fingers. When he was convicted, he shouted at the jury, "You make me sick. I will be avenged. Lucifer dwells within all of us." After the judge imposed a death sentence, Ramirez said, "Big deal. Death always went with the territory. See you in Disneyland." Ramirez married a female admirer and pen pal while incarcerated at California's San Quentin prison in 1996. In 2006, his first appeals were denied, and he died in prison on June 7th, 2013. And coincidentally, 130 years ago today, the famous Jack the Ripper killed his first victim, a prostitute, Mary Ann Nichols.
Nice. Look at that shit. Well, not nice. It's fucking horrible. Fuck these fucking people. They're fucking sick in it. Yeah.
Guys like Ted Bundy, like people, that don't. This guy was really sick. This guy strictly went after women.
Ted Bundy?
Oh, yeah, he killed women in California, Colorado, and he actually knew he was so sick that he eventually just turned himself in. He stopped running because he could not control himself. He would just keep killing people. He knew he had a sickness. He knew that he could keep running. People knew who he was, but I think morally, after he was done killing his victims, the guilt would come in sometimes, and he escaped out of prison. I'm not going to go so deep into it, but he escaped out of prison, went to Florida, and he was free. I mean, from Colorado to Florida, that's a big distance, and this was way back in the day. So, and even then, he could not hold back the urge to kill. And he had his point. He had enough when he killed, I believe it was like a 12-year-old girl. He couldn't live with himself anymore.
Fuck out of here. Yeah, I know. It's so sick, right? And it's like, it's on some weird shit. There's always been like some kind of American fascination with these fucking serial killers and shit, man. And it's like, it's weird. Like, don't get it twisted. They're very, very awful people and shit, man. Awful people. But it's like, you know them like the old fucking Western times. You talking about these outlaws and shit. You know what I mean? But like, dude, Jeffrey Dahmer was another one. Jeffrey Dahmer, and he's saying, you want to talk about girls? These guys are fucking complete, disgusting pedophile fucks. Like, Jeffrey Dahmer killed 17 boys and shit, men and boys, like, in terms of whatever, right? This guy used to fucking cook them up and eat them and shit, eat their fucking dicks and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I mean, I'm telling you, this guy was a fucking piece of shit. This guy went to prison too, and they killed him in prison and shit. I'm telling you this right now, dude. You don't wish death on people, but these are people that they're not people; they're animals and shit. You know what I mean? Some guy hit him in the head with the back of a pipe, and they were trying to get him. And it was a beautiful thing. It's like it's so fucked up, man. These fucking serial killers that you hear about and shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, one serial killer that really sticks out in my mind. And, it's the real life John Wayne Gacy. This guy was a clown by profession, but he had over 30 boys buried in his crawl space. It got to the point where his house smelled so bad, his wife left. And, people wonder why some people get shaken around clowns. Like, I never understood it. Till this day, I don't get it. But it's funny how he would strictly go after teenage boys. And there was always this thing with him and clowns. He was a clown by profession, and he would just bury people in his crawl space. Like, this guy definitely, I don't know, creative would not fucking describe this guy. This guy was evil. That's the only word that I can describe John Wayne Gacy.
Absolutely.
Is evil.
I'm telling you, man, it's so fucked up, right? That like guys like that, right? When it comes down to these serial killers and shit, right? Serial killers, man. Like they, in some sense, like even to the Bundy thing, like while they're doing this killing, it's like they don't want to get caught though. It's like I noticed that there's this new thing where, like, in terms of, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing which is better or whatever. They're absolutely both terrible things. But there's this new thing where it's like now people want to do, like, I want to go to a mall and get a gun and shoot the fucking place up. And then as soon as the cops come, I want to shoot myself. right? These back then, the serial killers like, I'm gonna go fucking kill people and try to get away with it as long as I can. But all these killers they're very narcissistic. And Clifford Stark said it best. It's true. There's people that's narcissistic. They don't know that they're narcissistic. That's being a trait of narcissistic. Like, no, I'm not. Like, dude, you're so full of yourself. And then, you tell a guy that, and when they are, completely they are. But then again, that's based on perception. That's just an opinion. But if somebody go, no, I'm not. The fuck I am. But it's like, dude, yes, you fucking stare in the mirror all the time, whatever the fuck, right? You're a narcissistic prick. These people are like, you have to like, if you dig in deep of their fucking minds, man, these are fucking anti-social people. They're like very narcissistic and shit. And when you see a lot of these criminals, like you've seen like a lot of these criminals when they get bagged and shit, it's always like, oh, it's always like they feel sorry for themselves. Like, why did I do this? I can't believe, oh, it's poor me. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, now I gotta get fucking years or whatever. It's them, but they don't think about their fucking victims. I'm gonna tell you another guy who was a serial killer too. Because you know me, I like reading all the mafia books and shit. Back in the days in the 80s, it was a wild time, man. There wasn't a camera in every corner. But that Iceman, I don't know if you ever guys seen that fucking documentary. You could probably see it on YouTube, but it's an old HBO documentary and shit. You know what I mean? It was Richard Kalinsky and shit, the Iceman serial killer, and that guy was a hitman and shit for Roy DeMeo, the old mafia time and shit. You know, and man, this guy whacked out 1,000 bums. And he had no remorse for anything. It was like a job to this guy. And I mean, there's a movie to it, man. Dude, it's a great fucking film and shit, man. Michael Shannon and fucking Ray Liotta, man. If you haven't seen that, watch it, right? Because it's absolutely true. And this guy was like in the ice cream truck. Like you mentioned the Gacy guy, like some clown shit. Now, mind you, though, the reason I respect Kalinsky a little bit out of all the other serial killers is because he did not fucking touch kids. He didn't do the gay thing either. He wasn't like, oh, I fuck boys and shit. You know what I mean? But there is a story where he had to go incognito in a gay bar, believe it or not. And he said,
I remember that one.
You heard about that, dude. There's a story where he literally had to go incognito to a gay bar, seduce a guy, and he killed him. But let me tell you this about this Kalinsky guy. Kalinsky was like 6'6" or some shit. Big, tall, scary motherfucker. Polish looking motherfucker. Crazy. You know what I mean? Like at the time. And he was like Roy DeMeo's hitman guy. Everybody feared him. Even like John Gotti. You gotta understand the Gambinos, the fucking, you know what I mean, the Genovese family. You know what I mean? Everybody you want to talk about, like those guys, like, you know, they knew who were the guys, the hitmans, because the hitmans were in a way, they were part of the mob, they were part of the mafia, but they were like just hitmen though. They weren't like, you know, part of the mob. They're like, yo, if you need something clean and on some clean shit, you hire this guy, like Kalinsky. This guy, I'm telling you, the way he confessed, you have to see the Iceman interviews, the way he confessed to these murders. But what I gotta give him this. Out of all those guys we mentioned, he's probably the most honorable one. Believe it or not. And he probably killed the most people, and he did some fucked up shit. There's one story where he said he knocked on some guy's door and he just put the pistol on the the keyhole. When people look on terms of the eye thing in the apartment, he said as soon as he saw the guy's like boots coming in and who looked at it was, he popped him and shit. That's very graphic what I'm saying right now. I totally understand that. You know what I mean? But that's the truth and reality of these fucking mental patients. There are a lot of people out there, man, when it comes down to it, are completely fucked in the head, and they would do that shit, man. Like, and he was getting. And here's the thing about Kalinsky too. Here's nothing. If you watch the movie and you read his biography about the guy, this guy he whacked 1,000 bums and he got paid for it. But the guy was not rich, and then he since the guy was not a millionaire. You know what I mean? The guy, his wife was a waitress and shit. You know what I mean? They were still fucking struggling to make ends meet. The guy would drive around in the ice cream truck. You mentioned the Gacy guy. He was driving around in an ice cream truck with his other pal and shit, and have like serving ice cream to kids and have like dead bodies in the freezer just as a front. But he didn't harm kids as far as I know and shit. You know what I mean? But then again, I wouldn't put it past any of these assholes. You know what I mean, Zach?
Iceman was one of the most sickest killers that I've ever read about, because I heard a story one time that he handcuffed one of his, victims in a cave, and he videotaped this person that got ate alive by rats, and he watched it, and he said that it screwed up, like it screwed with him a little bit.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
watching
put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him, dude. I'm telling you right now, dude. If anybody who hasn't seen that Iceman movie, check it out. This guy is a sick bastard. But then again, if people out there who are like, dude, I don't want to see that. This is a fucked up segment. I'm not gonna lie to you. I totally understand that as well.
Some of these people run the world, man. I hate to say it, but it's these,
Oh, they're all fucking psychopaths. Sure. Let me tell you something. You show me a successful person. I'm
Right.
telling you this right now. I will show you a person who's insane. That's a fact. Every person who's absolutely like, you think fucking like you talk to Mark Zuckerberg, you think is that you're gonna be on the same level with him? Now here's the thing. I'm not saying because of class and status in terms of like he's got more money than no. I'm talking about man to man, right? I'm telling you right now, you as the same person, it's like this guy's a billionaire, but he's so fucked up in the head. Like I'm telling you, we are the same people. These people up there who are on top are so fucked up in the head, narcissistic, and a fucking maniac, dude. Maniac. They're maniacs and shit. I'm telling you right now, there's like it's a different kind of crazy. It's Al Capone crazy. Think about all the people that we talk about, like in right now, the people who've done something, like Abraham Lincoln, dude, Andrew Jackson, who's on the $20 bill in U.S. currency, right? This
He's done
guy,
a lot of bad stuff.
yeah, he's a fucking maniac. A fucking maniac. Now, but one thing though, people talk about Charles Manson and shit,
But
Charles
he never
Manson
killed no one, technically. People got to remember.
Well, there's some stories coming out now. He probably killed like a guy or two or something like that. Nothing like that. I heard. Like, maybe,
Wow.
I heard he shot a guy in the head in the beach once. And the Beach Boys can confirm this and shit because Brian
they
guy,
did do music with him.
yeah. Like there's a lot of man, it's a lot of shit coming out about that prick. But nothing like what we talked about. Nothing about these stupid ass fucking bullshit fucking serial killer serial killer maggots. You know what I mean?
I forgot to mention earlier that
Okay.
Richard Ramirez, a lot of people believe that he was the famous Zodiac killer from California, the guy that from San
I
Francisco.
know there was people said there was a
Yeah, he was killing a lot of people, and a lot of people claim that was him because after that you didn't really hear about any deaths.
but there was that's also true. See, to me personally, I know there's people who say otherwise though. There are a lot of people they say like Ramirez, that's not him. The guy's still at large. The same thing you alluded to with Jack the Ripper. It's like, they never really caught Jack the Ripper, blah blah blah. Let me tell you something. Ramirez was totally the fucking killer. He was a Satanist fucking piece of shit. And he was like, he practically said everything but he did it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but one thing though, there's always that thing. Like I said, it's always half and half in here, right? And I want to say one thing right quick because remember we said like it reminded me because I watched the David Hogg video that we did and we re-uploaded it. It's kind of an old video, but it's true. Remember like the Pope was like he said that there is no hell and shit. I just want to say this right quick. I don't give a fuck, dude. I was born a Catholic, dude. Hardcore. My mother's a fucking like a Catholic all day. Like, I mean, she believes in everything there is about it when it comes down to it. But that's my mother, you know what I mean? My own mother. But I want to say this. It's like, I hate this fucking Pope. I hate all the popes, to be honest. And I want to be a Catholic. I try to be like, I'm spiritual and shit. But you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I know that I don't agree with because I'm a logical person, to be honest. I'm more of a realist and shit. You know what I mean? And I want to say one thing right quick before we fucking end this fucking segment, dude. It's like, you can drown anything, dude. You can even drown a plant. Everything can die of the most natural thing that we can live in is water, bro. But I feel like this Pope guy, he's coming out and he's going like, hey, he's defending fucking like global. He was like global warming. He's doing all this shit about global warming and his other bullshit. But he's turning the eye on the pedophilia shit that's going on. Like, shame on you, man. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. You want to talk about fucking serial killers and you want to talk about people on the shit list? That's another guy. Zach, I fucking ramble too much. I apologize, sir. I apologize. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. And ladies and gentlemen, there's the PR girl who's waving her fucking finger. I hate when she does that. And she was doing that, I swear, for like 4 minutes. I know you got your back turned, Zach, so you didn't see it. I know you got your back turned, but I know you gotta go. I know you got the people don't know the AM radio station. You got the helicopter to catch. You got to do a little traffic and shit. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the prestigious nightly news with the heap sack. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Even in this helicopter, in all his glory. Wave to him. Wave to him. Lobo Show, segment number 3. Mofos. Lobo here. Heap sack in the motherfucking building. What else is new? Don't get it twisted. If you get 10 dislikes on this one, you're not hating. You're not hating. Yo, but I definitely want to fucking get off a couple of things over here. We keep talking about these fucking crazy maniacs out there all day and shit. You know, I know in Boston it's clicking right now. People are talking about the shit that's going on with the Boston Globe, Sack. And I think that, I think we should kind of... Why you look... Dude, wait a minute. Why are you looking at me like that, dude?
Like I'll get to the news, but I got to get something off my chest, okay?
All right.
Now,
Call me a curveball?
No, it's just I got to get something off my chest because I did see Ricky's bike outside.
Sure.
And, I've had a week to kind of cool off and kind of reflect on what happened. And I think that me and Richard, I want this to happen, and you respect me. I respect you. We all respect each other.
Absolutely.
Things happen, and I'm going to let bygones be bygones. Whatever happened in the past, it's the past. And me and Richard, I want everybody to know that we're good. We hashed it out, as the kids say.
Yeah. Well, let me say this though. Hold on. Funny that you said. I told you Richard was here. Richard's trying to do his due diligence. He's trying to do right here. And trust me, I got some of the other boys looking back. So if he fucks up on you, I know. Trust me, I'm gonna roast this fucking guy. But you know what? He's guy. You know what I'm saying? He's fucking been calling me and shit. Like he called me like I'm not gonna lie while we were doing the show and shit. I keep my shit on silent. The guy was calling me like two times in a row.
But it was like that. Your phone was blowing up.
I was like, no, he said that right now. I was like, what the fuck? For a minute, I was like, what the fuck? Where's the fire, bro? And I'm trying to say, man. And I want to bring him in here, but hold on. I want to fucking Hawk and Taco and shit. The two fucking interns in here. They want to fucking make a name for themselves. Fucking come on, mic them up right because last time we got all the mics all fucking and shit. You know what I mean?
Use my mic if he wants to.
I mean, his thing, Sack. I know why. I mean, come on. I want you to fucking. You don't want to talk to him still?
No, I mean we're good. It's just like
get up. Look at Hawk. Yeah, I don't want you to talk, Hawk. You fucked up. Give him Sack's mic for now, then.
Why is Hawk? Go back. Like
exactly.
Oh, man. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. It's all cool. It's all cool.
Yeah. No. Fuck that. Yeah. Get Taco in it. Yeah, put mic up. Get Richard. Yeah. Get Richard for the back, bro. Richard. All right. Here he comes. Richard is in here, walking in. Put the headphones on. I'll mic him up, Taco. Listen, Richard, you called me 2 times in a row. You called me twice. I mean, I hope this is about the sandwiches, buddy. And I hope the sandwiches are here or either on the way. What's going on, Richard? You called me twice. What's up, bro?
Hey, you want to hear something stupid, Lobo? What I was going to tell you on the phone earlier? Don't ask me why, but my sister told me this, but I think it's stupid. Our bank got a free ticket for Monday Night Raw next month on 17. Fuck that.
Why?
So I don't want to go see Wanda Wowdy, you stupid ass face.
Isn't there? I mean, are they front row seats?
I don't know. So we did got them. We should got them for free from our bank.
Oh, you got them free, and you still not going? You're fucking out of your mind.
Why you say that?
I'll go by myself.
Hey, you done did. How you done done?
Well, you know what? The ching chong, bitch. That's what I'm doing. I'm in the front row, bitch. Meow, 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 meow. That's what I be doing. People are like, what is he doing? I'm in the front row, bitch. Meow, meow,
yeah, but he'll saying get 2 free tickets. So who else would you have to do with? You would have to date someone else. Even if
since you don't want to go, Richard, I guess I'll just put my feet up.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Or maybe I could just sit my beer down. Like I'll just buy 2 beers and then just put my beers on the chair. Talking about
You know what?
friend.
You know what I say?
What?
Pass, man.
That's it. Richard, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with you. Everybody in the world is mad at you.
Hey, I'm not done. You want to hear something stupid?
Okay.
After I got
Sure.
my ticket for the concert, all right? When I got my ticket that day, you know, came in mail that day along with the tickets.
What's that?
Free, 2 discs for free by the band we don't see that month, and came with the mail with the tickets.
So why the hell you get? So wait a minute. So you got the tickets to your favorite band. So you're gonna miss another day at work for this concert. And what band is this again?
Boy from my Valentine.
Blood for My Valentine. They're called, right?
No, boy.
Boy for My Valentine.
No, boy. You know, boy, where you put in a Donny do
Bullet.
bang bang.
Bullet. Okay, Richard. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard to hear you. With all that shit in your mouth. But let me ask you this. So, but here's the thing, right? Bullets for Your Valentine. They're not one of these soft bands. They're pretty hardcore, and
Yeah,
they get
I
a
know.
mosh pit. So they do get a mosh pit going on, Richard Head. So
Yeah, I know.
what would you do? What are you gonna do when mosh pit they go crazy? Punches start being thrown. People are starting to get in pushed. And Ricky, you're in the mosh pit. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Hey, first off, you gotta remember, Lobo, it's not just only me would be in my pit, but it also would be my sister also in the mosh pit with me.
Yeah, I get you. And I know your sister's tough as nails, trust me. You know what I mean? She smokes cigarettes. But what are you going to do? I mean, you're going to fucking rely on your sister to have your back when the goings gets tough in the mosh pit? Come on, Richard.
Hey, my sister
have a
thought
backup
about
plan, buddy.
that. When my sister said that, I know my sister was Robin. All right, that's her real name. Like, from Batman movie, did I name it Robin?
Sure.
Well, her real name is Robin. But anyway, she's what she gonna do if they start pushing? I know, Robin. Do you not know this? After all the years you've seen me growing up, do you not know this? I had my first fight when I was like 5 or 4. Had my last fight when I was 17. Shoot, if someone started pissing me, no. And she go, what do you mean by that? And I told my sister, shoot, if I have to, I would tell them about time for not only if I have to whoop somebody else's ass.
Alright, so Richard, let me get this clear because I'll let you finish. All right, let me get this clear, right, Richard? Because you always talk about when you were a kid, you always said that you would always love to fight. You love to fight. You're like an Irishman. You love to fight, and you said you've never lost a fight when you were young. Never, right? So, how many
Yeah, and then
fights
my
would you
last
say?
fight was when I was 17, like I just told you, and that's like December of 08, the end of 08. Pretty much
So
almost 09.
So you never lost any fights you've ever been in, Richard. Is that correct?
Yeah, never. Not even one.
All right. What was the closest you ever came to losing a fight?
Get me out of all of them. When this
Mhm.
one little tinny-out midget kid take me in the balls, and I died back up when he did that, and I still knocked him out with a left hook.
All right. So obviously you can hold your own. So have you ever been to other concerts before, or is this your first one?
No, never. This is my first one in general.
This is your first concert ever. So you don't know
Yeah.
what to expect when it comes down to these
No.
mosh pits. You're saying,
No.
okay? Well, I'm telling you, personally, I've been to all types of concerts before. Heapsack will tell you he's been to plenty of concerts. And I'm saying, dude, it depends what concert you go to. But when you go to one of these fucking metal shows, these hard rock band shows, I'm telling you, expect the punching. Expect the kick in the chest for no reason. You know what I mean? So I'm letting you know it's this. Your sister's there. I know she's tough. She can handle her own. Richard, I'm just telling you, man. You better be prepared for that shit.
I mean, put it this way, you don't remember Lobos. They're talking back, when I had my first fight, they're talking back like in year 1965. I mean, not 65, I mean 1995. It going back when this was I had my first fight when I was 5, so he has to go back the year, you know, in the year 1996 is when I had my first fight, and I haven't lost from that year all the way up until from that year. Listen to this, y'all. I just want y'all both hear this, all right? You listen to this, that Lobo. From that year, from 1996, all right, from when I was 5, from that year all the way up from 08, never lost one.
All right, so what? I mean, here's the thing, right? So you got into fights. What was your thing? Did you knock guys' fucking heads off? Were you a fucking head kick guy? What was your fucking move?
You mean when I first started out fighting?
Sure.
Oh, that? I was pretty much like Wanda Rousey in a way. Well, how you know Wanda would do a UFC and just knock out with a left hook. That's what my fame was back then. If you try faking to hit me with the elbow, I would just knock you out with either left hook or right hand pretty much and just
That's it, Ricky. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, one-on-one with the Richard Head. There's nothing better than that. Ricky's going to his first concert, Bullet with a Valentine, and also he's revealing that he's never lost a fight in his whole life. Well, until 17 when it was the last time he had a fight. Is that correct, Richard?
And that was it. Yeah, and that was like in the end of 08. That's like December of 08.
All right, so that's, 10 years ago, practically. Last time you got into a fight, you're more of a lover than a fighter. Right now, Richard Ed?
That's what I said after. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do by now.
All about the broads. I totally get it. Richard, I really hope
that's
you
why I
enjoy.
don't fight anymore. Like, for example, I remember this one time, this one guy wanted to fight me when I was like, probably in May of 08. Alright, and this like
I'm looking at a guy who wants to fight you.
I should make it. There one time, this one guy was trying to fight me, and then hey, are you the person I heard about? You knocked out all these people, blah blah. And then the guy would have bag about all these fights I've been in. Alright, when he don't even know what the fuck he talking about, he don't even know me, right? But he bagging, right? Fight you know me, right? And this guy looked at me. It was like the summer of 08, though. It was probably like May or June, when we all got out of high school, for the summer. And we had that one bag ass party, and some random white guy who I don't know talking shit or whatever. And what do you mean do you not fight anymore when you used to talk all that crap, blah blah? I go, hey, dude, the guy you talk about when I knew fight when I was 5, back then I would always love to fight. But the truth be told, I'm a lover now, not a fighter.
That's right, Richard. Yeah, so am I. So am I. Me and Richard, and you exactly got that in common. We love the JJ, the vagina. That's it. All right, Richard, come on. Let's get the fucking sandwiches and shit, and I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. Me and he says got a fucking show to do, eh?
Come on, I'm with you.
All right, Richard, get the hell out of here. Seriously, get the fuck out of here with their love or not a fighter bullshit. God damn it, man. Like I said, man, I know fucking your kid is fucking trying and shit. You know what? I don't know if you want to stick around for the sandwich he's going to bring anyway and shit. It's getting fucking late and me and you got to do the party thing. But, what happened with this Boston guy? I know you was like, I wanted to hear about it, but the fuck? Was it a big deal or what? Wasn't it a big deal? Let's skim through this. Don't worry. We'll fucking call it a night. I know everybody wants to fucking get out of here and shit. What's up?
Yeah, it was some old timer from Los Angeles, and he's very gun-ho on President Donald Trump, and he threatened to shoot up the staff at the Boston Globe, said he was going to shoot them in their head at 4 o'clock. And the police, they sent out people as extra security because they did have somebody back in June that shot up a newspaper office. And this guy's just crazy. He says that these people are the enemy of the people. President Donald Trump says.
You're like, yeah, no, fuck that. See that? This goes for the record nowadays, man. It's like, see, people are like, oh, hide your Trump hat and all this kind of shit nowadays. It's like, or do this kind of thing. It's like, you know what?
whatever, man. Do what you need to do, bro. I'm not gonna tell you how to fucking live your life, bro. But the minute that you're fucking switching it up for people's opinion, that's the minute that you're not original, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, terrific.
Now, I was gonna take a call from Matt from Sheboygan, but I don't think that's necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the epic fail, the deplorable, the debacle of a podcast that they label the Lobo Show. It's me, Heap Sack, and all the boys in the back. Don't worry about Richard Head; he'll be all right. We're not gonna bring him on every fucking week. I think we gotta hear his piece. And there's a lot of the cronies here in the back and shit that wants to get their shot on the mic. We'll see what happens. If there's anything else, Sack, you got anything here? Want to add on?
No, sir.
Rest in peace, John McCain. Rest in peace, Aretha Franklin.
That's
rest
right.
in peace to everybody who was real in the field that died out there and shit. Man, women, and child. It's unfortunate.
Rest in peace.
It's unfortunate that the greatest thing in life is life, and it's unfortunate that death is the worst thing ever. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? This is the Lobo Show, ladies and gentlemen. Say goodnight, Heap Sack.
Good night, Heap Sack.